He didn't just raise his voice, he finally chose a side. And if you believed he would always fold under family pressure, this moment just shattered that narrative. Because when Sumit looked his mother in the eye and defended Jenny, the entire emotional foundation of their story started to crack in real time. And I know what you're thinking, we've seen family drama before in the 90-day universe. We've seen tears, ultimatums, even full-blown walkouts. But here's the part TLC cameras didn't show: this confrontation had been quietly building for years.
If you followed their journey on 90 Day Fiancé, the other way, you already know Jenny didn't just walk into a complicated relationship, she walked straight into one of the most emotionally charged family situations the franchise has ever documented. And the K1 dream. Yeah, this is where the 90-day dream quietly fell apart. Because behind the polite smiles and tense family dinners was a dynamic that many fans started calling out online. Jenny wasn't being treated like a daughter-in-law, she was being treated like hired help. Now stay with me, because what leaked later on Reddit makes this moment even more uncomfortable. From the very beginning, Sumit's mother made her expectations crystal clear. Respect the household, follow the rules, earn your place. On the surface, that sounds cultural, maybe even traditional. But the longer Jenny stayed in India, the more viewers noticed something wasn't sitting right. I know what you're thinking, cultural differences are real. And yes, they absolutely are. But fans started pointing to specific moments that felt personal. Like when Jenny was repeatedly corrected on how she cleaned. Or when small mistakes turned into full-blown lectures. Or when the emotional temperature in that house felt less like guidance and more like pressure. And here's where things start getting messy. Because according to multiple posts that blew up on the 90-Day Fiancé subreddit, some viewers believed Sumit had been quietly enabling this dynamic the entire time. Not intentionally, maybe, but passively, until suddenly, he didn't. About 2 minutes into that now infamous confrontation, the energy shifted in a way longtime viewers immediately caught. Sumit's body language changed, his tone hardened, and for possibly the first time on camera, he pushed back against his mother in defense of Jenny. If you're deep into this franchise like we are, you know how rare that moment really was. And real quick, if you're the kind of viewer who notices the stuff TLC leaves on the cutting room floor, you're exactly who this channel is for. Hit subscribe and join the circle of people who watch this show with both eyes open. Because what happened next? It split the fandom straight down the middle. On Twitter, or X, reactions exploded almost instantly. Some fans were cheering Sumit on, calling it long overdue growth. Others weren't buying it for a second. One viral post read, "Too little, too late. He let this go on for years." And honestly, that comment hit a nerve. Because if you rewind their relationship timeline, the pattern is hard to ignore. Jenny left her entire life in the US behind. She took the emotional and financial risk. She endured public scrutiny, family rejection, and cultural whiplash. But here's the detail that keeps resurfacing in fan discussions: Sumit often stayed quiet at the exact moments Jenny needed backup most. Until now. But here's the part TLC cameras didn't show. Multiple viewers claim the confrontation we saw was heavily edited down. On Reddit, one user who says they attended a fan meet and greet with Jenny claimed the real argument lasted much longer and got far more emotional than what aired. Now, take that with a grain of salt. But the timing of Sumit's sudden backbone, that's what has people talking. Because think about it, why now? Why after years of tension? Why after Jenny had already been pushed to the brink multiple times? This is where the story gets uncomfortable. Some fans believe Sumit is finally maturing and choosing his marriage. Others think he's reacting to public pressure and fan backlash more than anything happening inside the family home. And the evidence fueling that theory is interesting. Right around the time fan criticism peaked online, Sumit's on-camera behavior noticeably shifted. He became more verbally supportive, more physically protective, more willing to challenge his parents. Coincidence? Maybe. But the internet rarely believes in coincidence. And this is where the emotional cost of the 90-day journey really shows itself. Because regardless of motives, Jenny has been living inside this pressure cooker for years. Every small household moment carries emotional weight. Every family visit feels like a test she didn't sign up for. And during this confrontation, you could actually see something in her face that longtime viewers immediately recognized. Exhaustion. Not anger. Not shock. Just exhaustion. This is where the 90-day dream quietly fell apart for a lot of fans watching at home. Because what started as a complicated love story now looks, to some viewers, like a woman constantly fighting for basic acceptance. But here's another twist that started circulating in fan spaces. Some viewers believe Sumit's mother isn't just reacting emotionally, she's reacting strategically. There's a growing theory online that family reputation and community pressure in India are still driving much of this conflict behind the scenes. Again, nothing officially confirmed. But when you watch the full timeline back, certain moments start to feel calculated. And that's exactly why this confrontation hit so differently. Because for the first time, Sumit didn't just try to smooth things over. He chose a side. At least, that's what it looked like on camera. But I know what you're thinking, one emotional moment doesn't erase years of hesitation. And honestly, a huge portion of the fandom agrees with you. Scroll through recent discussions and you'll see the divide clearly. Team Redemption says Sumit is finally stepping into his role as a husband. Team Skeptical says this should have happened years ago. And then there's the third group, the quiet observers, who think the real test hasn't even happened yet. Because standing up once during a heated conversation is one thing. Sustaining that boundary inside a deeply traditional family structure, that's a completely different battle. And here's the uncomfortable truth many viewers are starting to voice. If the family pressure ramps up again, and history says it probably will Sumit keep this same energy? Or will we watch the cycle repeat itself all over again? Because if there's one pattern the 90-day universe has taught us, it's this: emotional breakthroughs don't always lead to permanent change. Sometimes they're just temporary spikes in a much longer struggle. And judging by the tension still simmering in that household, this story feels far from over. So now the real question isn't whether Sumit can confront his mother once. It's whether he can keep choosing Jenny when the cameras aren't there, when the family pressure returns, and when the next cultural clash inevitably hits. Because if he can't, then everything we just watched might not be a turning point at all. It might just be another calm before the storm. And that leaves us with the question fans are already arguing about across Reddit and X. Was this the moment Sumit finally became the husband Jenny needed, or was it just another scene that looked stronger on TV than it will in real life? Drop your take in the comments, because this story is nowhere near finished.